Today we're talking about decision making. This is something I've worked on for like the last few months and have never felt more confident and more comfortable in making a decision that I feel I need to make. Let's jump into how I like to make decisions. There's a few questions that I like to ask myself, and I write these questions down and I write these answers down. And by the end of these questions, I always have an understanding of the decision that needs to be made. Now, it's not always easy. Sometimes it becomes a lot easier and it becomes a lot more of a clear decision that there is no other option. Other times it still doesn't feel so good, but I always know the direction that I need to take and the decision that I need to make and how to kind of follow up with those steps. So question number one is, what is the decision that we're making? So I use this when I ended my relationship just because that relationship was not really working out and it was incredibly difficult. So I needed to make that decision. So the decision we'll go with, and we'll just keep the same example, was do I end my current relationship? So that would be what we'd fill in there. Maybe I talk about it a little bit more. Here's why I made that decision. Or here is the decision that I made, and here's why I think I need to make it. Question number two is, what do I need to make this decision? Right? So for me, I need to put my thoughts together. I need to understand maybe some other steps. If I'm going to move out, where am I going to go? How am I going to do these things, etc. Right? So kind of thinking a little bit past the decision. If I make this decision, what are some things that I'm going to need to think about? What am I going to need to do? And then question number three is, what is the desired outcome of this decision, right? So what am I, by breaking up or by ending this relationship, what will I achieve by doing that? And so for me, right, it was simply, I don't know, to maybe try and find myself a little bit more, focus on the things that I need to focus on, the things that are important to me, to try and find a relationship in which is a little bit more beneficial, or something that I like a little bit more. Then a big one, a huge one that I love a lot, that really kind of helps me figure out why I'm not making the decision that I need to be making, is simply, what are the fears of this decision, right? What scares me about making it? What makes me worried that things aren't going to work out the way that I need them to work out? And for me, it's so much about doing this and being able to go, oh, I'm scared that she's gonna hate me. I'm scared that I'm making the wrong decision. I'm scared that life is going to look a lot different. I'm scared that I might be preemptively or impulsively making a decision that's going to long-term be kind of a tough one. I'm scared that emotionally I'm going to feel really sad for a while. I'm scared that I'm never going to find somebody as good as her, right? You have to believe in your decisions. You have to believe in who you are. You have to believe that you want to make the right decision. If you can't believe in yourself and you can't focus on what you know and how you're growing, you're not going to be able to make these decisions and be super confident in them. So you have to start to develop I'm going to do everything in my power to make the right decision for me. Another big hitting question is, when you're making these decisions and when you're thinking about what it is that you need to do, another big question for me is, how does this align with my values? And I guarantee a lot of us here, and I'm going to write this down because I do want to talk about it in another video, which is values, right? And values are so critical to helping us move in the right direction. Where do we want to be, right? We have to align ourselves with some core values, some things that we use in our life to continue to move down the right path. Now, so many people, including me, and I've thought about this a little bit, but clearly not as much as I need to, kind of realizing this right now. What are your core values? What do you care about? For me, I think respecting others is huge. I think for me, some of it is staying disciplined and understanding that motivation doesn't last forever. So I try and eat healthy. I try and get into the gym at least 6 days a week. I try and record these videos every single day. For me, Discipline is super important. Relationships are super important. Just to give a few, that's something I will talk about in a future video too, but you have to think about what are your values. So for me, oftentimes when I'm trying to figure out how to deal with a relationship, that was another big thing, is I don't want to really hurt anybody. Now, sometimes it's inevitable that you're going to make some decisions that are going to hurt some people, and there's not a lot that we can do about it. The only thing that we can do is do it with as much love and as much respect as possible, right? And my last question that I use on a regular basis is, what advice would I give to a friend? Now, how often are we more hard on ourselves than we are with friends, right? And so sometimes it's really important to take that time to be able to say, if my buddy was going through this, if whoever else was going through this, what would I tell them? What would I tell my brother, my sister, my mom, my dad, my whoever? What would I tell them in a decision if they were going through the exact same thing? That often really gives you a lot of perspective on exactly how you need to go about doing it. And then just, that pretty much is the easiest way to get yourself out of the situation and allow for more just, how do I feel about this? What would I tell somebody else to do? And then just try and follow my own advice, right? Again, knowing that we're trying to give advice to others that would be positive and productive in the same way that would be advice that hopefully we would give to ourselves to allow us to continue to move forward in making those decisions. And now for me personally, decisions are so much more easy to make. And I wouldn't even know if I would say that. I think decisions are much more streamlined on how I get to a decision. I don't know that they're always easier. In certain things, it definitely helps and definitely makes decision making easier. And then we have what I like to call patterns, right? We have things where we're kind of doing things the same way. And when we do things a little bit more streamlined, it's a little bit easier to get where we need to be. So that's all I have for today's video. I hope that you guys did enjoy. If you're new to the channel, consider hitting that subscribe button. I'll see you guys in the next one.